Instagram. It's pretty easy to find. Our collateral is all throughout this space. Even on the windowsill, take it, pass it out. And if you don't live in Cleveland, but you know someone who does, pass that stuff out. You know, it's no secret. There are some larger companies here, larger internet service providers who you might have. They're not big fans of us because we're going after that market share. But, you know, we deserve to be here, and we believe in delivering a winning product that Clevelanders deserve to have. So it's internet at $18 a month. Again, it's locked in. You don't have to qualify for it. If we reach you, we connect you. And it's $18 for you, too. No matter how much money you make, it's $18. In addition, public school, I got that. And you have kids in Cleveland Public School District, it is free for you as well. And so if you know someone who has kids in Cleveland Public School District, it's free. And that is a 6-year agreement we signed with the school district. So for the next 6 years, it's free. And so, again, spread the word. As we began looking at these great events and these great things that happen in Cleveland, sometimes this stuff gets lost. And so don't just assume that someone knows about it. Reach out proactively because, again, you all see this economy. You see how expensive things are. Very rarely do we say something like, oh, wait, is that? And it's actually that. So let's take advantage of those services while they're here. That's it.
Does that include homeschool kids?
That's only the CMSD. They have to be CMSD. They have to be CMSD.
Is it just for the city of Cleveland?
Yes.
No suburbs.
No suburbs. So, okay, this is actually, hold on, so this is actually a really good point too, because oftentimes what the other companies will do, they'll go to the suburbs first, and then they'll come to Cleveland last. And so what we're doing is like, no, we'll go Cleveland first, and then we'll go to the suburbs last. And that was intentional. You know, as we look at the neighborhoods, as you all know, you can go 2 streets over, and you all will see different conditions than what this room looks like. And so we're starting there versus waiting another generation of people not having affordable internet or high-speed internet. So we'll get to the suburbs eventually, but we're taking care of Cleveland first.
So I don't have to move to Cleveland.
You will have to move to Cleveland, that is right.
But don't worry, I have a guy that can sell you a house. Josh, where you at? There we go, right in the room. We're keeping it in the room. All right, guys. So without further ado, we're about to get the show started. You can't judge your race upon theirs because the only race that matters is that we're both succeeding, right? It doesn't matter who gets there first, right? I remember about 10 years ago, my guy called me and said, yo, I got this business opportunity, you should jump in with me. I go to the meeting, I didn't have the way to jump in. I'm like, look, go ahead and figure it out. Not only did he figure it out, he kicked in the door and he just set a new precedent, right? Fast forward, now I'm doing something else that can benefit him. So now he's one of my clients, and now we're about to go to the stratosphere. When I tell you this guy is one of the most authentic, genuine people, who'll keep it all the way 100 with you. You know what I'm saying? Whether you want to hear it or not, this is the type of friend that everybody needs in their life. But as a businessman, he's going to take you to the top, right? You lock in. And he looks at everything like a football team. So if you ain't ready for the drills, don't even show up, don't sign up, because he will go to your door, hey man, we gotta go. But you need people like that, depending on if you're not a self-starter, you need somebody that's gonna get you started. You need a coach like this, Coach Devo. Mr. Group Holmes, let's go, man. What's up, everybody? What's up? I'm incorporating tech into my presentation. Shameless plug right here. Come on! I'm going to scan that thing because I'm going to let down. Only if you got a phone in here. How's everybody doing today? All right. Appreciate I appreciate JR and the rest of the family for inviting us out. What's up, Rick? To be able to share our stories, to be able to share this platform. So many good entrepreneurs in the building, future entrepreneurs in the building, up and coming web designers, coders, all the above. Appreciate all you guys coming out, being willing to share your story. Man, it's very important because the beginning is where the grind is, all right? All this make-believe, fake coaches, fake millionaires, fake numbers,
It don't make sense. Stay to the ground, stay to the people, stay amongst the people. And that's people like JR that bring grounded people, real revenue, real everything, real raw, uncut, no faking. You know, this world that we live in right now where it's easy to post next to a Ferrari, but what do it take to get a Ferrari for real, right? Right? So, clap it up for JR and the fam right quick. Real quick, I'm just going to share my story with you guys. Again, born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, grew up in Warrensville Heights, Ohio. Everybody from Warrensville? Yeah, we got that small little tugboat, but we can tell y'all up. But growing up in Warrensville Heights, playing a little college football at the University of Akron, I always thought that sports was going to be my way out, right? I took it very, very serious, trained diligently, but that wasn't an out for me. 10 years working into education, I started working part-time at a group home. One of my student parents' mom asked me to work inside this group home. And just like people in our community, right, we try to get 2 jobs, right? But one of my good millionaire mentors said, Dwayne, 2 jobs for 2 people. Anybody agree with that? Because I've never seen a person that has so many extra jobs still get that million. Have y'all had? Anybody? But we still get 2 and 3 jobs, right? So I got that second job, and I really started to involve myself with this group home thing. I was serving adults with developmental disabilities, and I really started enjoying this thing to the point I was coaching football, basketball, and track at my former high school. But I really started feeling some type of feeling inside my heart about servicing adults with developmental disabilities. I picked up full-time in the summertime, and that's when I really started learning the business. And one day, it hit me that I needed to retire from the school district. I wasn't happy no more. I was a coach. I was going to sports to get wings, having drinks with the routine stuff, right? And I just felt like I was great. One thing I can tell about each and every one of you guys in here, I think God made everyone great, but it's up to you to cultivate that seed that He planted within inside you. Everybody agree with that? So I felt like that seed needed to grow within inside me. So I took a chance and I put in my retirement from the school district. All right? I retired from the school district and went full-time into group homes. Now I started at the $10 an hour job, okay? $10 an hour. And I slowly worked my way up to a house manager. Then I worked at the state of Ohio in Warrensville Heights Developmental Center. Then I moved over to a day program over in Strongsville at, what's the name of that place? It's the Camp Cheerful, that's what it was, Camp Cheerful, where we helping adults with developmental disabilities manage the horses and stuff. So on the side of the stalls, y'all pushing these big horses around. I did it all. So fast forward, after that job, a big job came back open at my first original place where I started the group homes at. And I took it as a program manager where I was managing 15 plus caseloads. This is where I started to really learn the business. So not only did I have to start these homes up, but I had to manage their benefits, SSI, SSDI, furniture vouchers, startup, relationships with property owners, all the above. I started these homes for one of the biggest providers of adults with developmental disabilities in the state of Ohio. Okay? Fast forward, I get a call off on third shift, right? I couldn't get my manager to go in. They was already at another house, and some of my workers just didn't want to come. So I had to go in. So I'm on third shift, and it's a house full of 3 males. So at the end of a group home shift, you have to do like your paperwork to manage, the individuals, say what type of day they had, so the next shift come in, they can know what was going on with the meds, all the above, right? So in this particular situation, I go to the back of the first person book, and I happen to see the budget that the company, how much money the company was making off the individual. And it said $110,000. I'm like, oh, Billy upstairs? He watched 227 all day. this book, went to the next person. 120,000. Then the third person, 110 plus. I said, I'm making 38,000. What Jay-Z said, 4 albums in 10 years, I can do the math. So I did some quick math and understood that I was making 38. I think I was making 38,000 and it bumped me up to like 42,000 a year salary. I said, oh no, we're not gonna do this. I was getting leverage. So from that day forward, I wanted to call offs because I started my journey to get my certification in service in adults with developmental disabilities. 5 months later, July of 2019, I totally walked away from my job. I started as an independent provider, driving, doing transportation, doing real well at that, started getting deposits from Medicaid. March of 2020, lost all of my clients due to what, y'all? Yes, lost all of my clients. But one thing shifted in my mind. One, I saved up enough money. Two, I believe, because I started getting those deposits every single Thursday. Any providers in here can be a witness to that, all right? Every Thursday, I started getting those deposits. And then, three, I noticed that the individuals that I was transporting, those individuals were at home on first shift now because there wasn't no day programs going on at the time. So the residential provider was making money even during a pandemic. What was the last pandemic? I'll cash out somebody $20 right now. You took the last pandemic before COVID. Say it again. Who was the president? I would say, I'll shoot that cash up over, but I always remember this because it was in the movie, I think it was in the movie Annie. And it was, what was the president in that doggone movie? Theodore Roosevelt. It was the polio disease. It was the polio. Y'all look that up and tell me, fact check for me, all right? It was the polio disease, but that was the last pandemic before then. So I said, if these providers are making money during a pandemic, I need to shift to residential. I shifted to residential just after March of 2020 and haven't looked back since. I own 9 group homes here in the city of Cleveland. I started another company which serves adults who suffer from the disease of addiction called Sober University, which is a 501c3. I have a bingo hall. Yep. Everybody say bingo. All right. I have a bingo hall that helps with the 501c3. I'm grant certified. All of my homes are certified. And now I travel the country and show individuals like you how to build a group home from scratch and start from nothing and get to 6 and 7 figures. It's certified. I got a picture of the check in my phone right now. I'm not one of those fake people who say that they're making money and not making. I'm not one of those people that say that we can get results and don't get results. Me and my team, we travel the country and show people how to open up group homes every single year. All right? I just wanted to share my story with you because I'm from Cleveland. I started from the ground up. I have never, besides that white truck I drive, I never had a brand new car in my life, man. I've witnessed stuff that I've never seen in my life. I got the Amex cards and everything, and I started out security cards, all the above. Guys, you can do it. Just start, just like those bricks in those walls. You start out at the bottom and start building every single day. It's possible for you, and I thank y'all so much for having me, man. Dwayne Great.
All right, so we're going to bring Dwayne back up to speak in the panel that we're going to have. How many took some gems away from that? Thank you. Come on, that's the only people that took some gems away from that? All right, so now listen. So now we have another young lady that I've been watching her for a while, right? And I'm like, yo, like she hit the scene and she's not just staying in one arena. And you never know who's watching you, right? And I would say that in the entrepreneurial world, especially in Cleveland, there's very few people that I can look at and be inspired by when I see their content, when I see their moves, when I actually have a conversation with them. And this young lady has been all of the above. Ms. Charkia is such a boss with her business.
my journey to help also motivate you. But I want to inspire you more than anything, because motivation will stop right here. If I inspire you, it's going to go with you. 8 years old, my grandmother told me, I'll tell you this story. My great-grandmother, she said, "Go into the basement, help me clean up, and I'll let you know sister go to the store with 50 cents. We're like, okay, cool. Get to the basement, I don't know how, but I looked, and I said, this is not worth the 50 cents. I said, so, Grandma, you want us to do all this? My name was Buttons. Well, Teen, her name was Buttons. I said, you gotta walk all the way down Lakeview, come back with only 2 things. So she said, go get the broom. I said, I got you. I'll go get the broom. I'll go back to the steps. I'm going to stay. I went up there, I sat in her big chair. I watched Little Fortune. And my sister had to clean the basement. She came upstairs and she said, you do not get your quarters. I said, that is fine. Well, guess what? My big sister, Zakia, she said, when you going with me, I'm going to share my quarters with you. At that point, I knew if I worked smart and not hard, I'd still get what I want. Age 13, I did a lemonade sale stand, right? I was destined for greatness for like a long time. I did a lemonade sale, 25 cents a cup and 25 cents for ice cream. I was making good sales. My mother put some ribs on the grill. Oh, sorry. My mother put some ribs on the grill, and this car pulled up. It was like, that smells good. What's that? I was like, ribs. Well, yes, I sold my mother ribs, and I got in trouble. I sold all the ribs off the grill, and at that point, I knew I was destined. That I'm not working for nobody. I have to figure this out. In that process, age of 15, raped, molested, got pregnant at 16. They called me out. They took me out of school. They said I was an embarrassment. I was living in on Each of the Stars. They kicked me out. I had the girls on the street calling me names because now I'm the first one pregnant. And it was out of rape, and nobody knew that. At that point, my mom, she did not know either. She said she refused to risk my life to deliver my child as part of our baby. This whole time, going through school and growing up, not understanding and carrying a child that I felt like I was made to carry, but embarrassed to carry at the same time. I got depressed, but I was not going to allow that to stop me. Now, with all the people that was against me, even a guy who was dating, I don't say dating, but you know how high school, little cute. His mother called and told me. She said, you'll never be nothing. You always live in low income. You'll never pay real rent. You'll have a bunch of kids. And I told her, thank you. Now, I own an estate. I own lots of properties from my house, my home. I retired my parents at the age of 40 years old, my mom and dad. My son is well and healthy. And the story won't stop there. At 24, I found out I had lupus. I gained weight. I had women calling me fat, big, stop eating. You look terrible. You have lost your shape. Because I used to be slim with a little butt. Guess what? I didn't give up. I said, I got you. You're right, I am. I opened a boutique called He Love Curves. Woo! So people don't understand, the name behind He Love Curves is not a woman's gifts. It's her smile, it's her confidence, it's her success, it's her journey. Because I have been through every shape, size. But guess what? No matter what size I was, men still love me. And that's why it's called He Love Curves. I started that process in 2027, buying stuff every month out of my paycheck. I was dying to get to the clinic and I got it. And realized that's not where I wanted to be. So every month with my paycheck, I would buy racks, chairs, clothes. I'm talking about just adding it all up. And I'm like, one day I'm giving me a spot. Because I'm going to speak this back into women and let them know how they feel and how to dress. And no matter what shape, size you are, you got this and you're a boss. I opened my first location on Superior, on St. Clair. The dust is so long, I'm trying to get all this out. On St. Clair, 40 St. Clair next to the meat market. The guy asked me, he told me the rent was going to be $750. I said, I ain't got that. What I can do is, you give it to me for $450. I promise you I'll never be late on rent. So I tell entrepreneurs, if you do, when you first start doing business, count it with your personal bills. You are not rich. What you do not bring in, you cannot put out. You cannot count what you do not got. He did it for $450. Now, I'm 11 years in business. I have had the opportunities to franchise. I took $10,000 with $250K, lost it, got it back, and kept flipping. So I'm going to tell you, it's ups, highs, and lows, but you have to stay strong. I also own independent living homes, which is different from group homes. I take foster children who age out the system, and I house them for 4 years until they're 21 years old. Y'all, my journey is a lot. Also, I'm an author, and I'm a life coach and mentor. So never give up, trust your process, and remember this, you can make your first million by yourself, but you're going to need a team to make your second one.
Nice.
Man, come on, man. You're not motivated by that. The dope thing about life is we all have our own individual walks and our own individual stories, right? Nobody knows what you're going through just by looking at you. But you would have never guessed when she walked in that she was going to give you guys that story, right? So just understand that you can encounter different people on your walks. That person that you're meeting has their own individual journey. You know what I'm saying? Respect it as such because you don't know what that person went through just to meet you. Have an impact when you meet her, because she had an impact when she met me and she didn't even know it. All right? One more round of applause. So we can do it. All right. So this next guy. Now listen. How many people have a friend who you was like, man, I don't know about this dude. Like when y'all was younger, like when y'all was kids, like high school age, you like, man, yo. Hopefully you make it, brother. I met this guy at a gas station across from a kiddie club. It used to be this kiddie club out in Willoughby. And I say kiddie club, but it was like high school. You know what I'm saying? So it was a huge fight, right? I was so listen, wait, I gotta tell the story. So it was a huge fight. I'm not that type. I am not a gangster. I told you guys before, I am a nerd and I am proud of it. Boom. We go to the gas station, get snacks on the way home. Door opens, see this guy, he's like, got his ass. Full of blood. All over the place. I'm like, oh, he is a big dude. Like, man, looks like you won, huh? He said, sure did. Nice to meet you. Walk straight out the door, right? Fast forward, we go to college. See the same guy. I'm like, oh, you made it. All right, good for you, brother. But I never got that bullet picture out, out back of my mind. See you later. Fast forward, we cross the same fraternity. I'm like, oh, okay. Now I start paying attention. Because not every time I see this man, he's leveling up his life, right? All right. How many people is that person that people counted you out? Right? They didn't think that you was going to be the person that you is. But every time they see you, you leveling up. Just don't keep taking notes. Because my man owns one of the biggest mortgage companies in Cleveland. Back on. All right? My man is Mr. Rick Rucker. Told you he did right there. I know I'm telling you the truth about the story.
Never happened.
Drawing that thing. How's everybody doing? Are you excited to learn today? Yes. Have you learned anything?
Yes.
Did you write it down?
Yes.
Did you? Oh, hey, some of y'all are admitting it. I take this little book everywhere. Anytime I can learn something, I write it down. There you go. That's what I'm talking about, bro. All right, so what? Oh, it's all good. It's all good. I figured. I'm good at improvising. So My story goes, I've known Debo and Jay since I was like a teenager, 14, 15. Jay, I told you this is a real story. Jay thought it was full of shit. He didn't write that much. He didn't believe those stories when Jay said it. So I basically, I was born in East Cleveland. My mother worked at Huron Hospital. My father was unfortunately one of the most baddest street hustling dudes you've ever met in your entire life. Drug addict, all that good stuff. Was very abusive to my mother. My mom ran out in the middle of the night when I was 6 months old. So that was the start to my life, and I feel like I've been running ever since. So moved to the Clark Fulton area on the west side, and then moved up to west 140th to Lakewood, and I grew up in, my parents were like, we gotta get you out of here because you're a nut. So they took me out to Twinsburg, and in Twinsburg I was still causing a ruckus. So, but fast forward past all those crazy stories. Went to college. Me and Debo used to hang out all the time in college. And unfortunately, the Warrensville team that won the state championship was an entire basketball team that lost the year before that I played on at St. Peter Chanel. So thank you, Warrensville. I love the bill. I love the bill. But so fast forward, get to college, whatever. I'm like, man, I don't know what I want to do. But to Jay's point, I think that entire crew, you know, I was covered in blood and we were fighting all the time. Probably about 60% of them went to prison. Or they were doing dirt, or they were selling drugs, or I remember one time I came home from college, and one of my dudes, hopefully no police officers are here. I'm just kidding. Years ago, anyway. One of my guys, he just randomly walked up to this dude, punched him in the face, he took his money. I was like, okay, so I'm not coming back home. Because I can't. I can't get involved in this shit. I can't get a felony. I'm not going to prison. These guys are heading down the wrong path. I was called all kinds of names for it. Has anybody seen that? Where you were called names because you loved the people that weren't shit when you were younger? So raise your hand. Anybody? I know some of y'all. Yeah. Fuck them. Leave them alone. Because they ain't going nowhere, right? So, exactly. They still there or even worse. Some of them haven't even made it. I had a couple friends that lost their lives, unfortunately. So, again, unfortunately, a lot of times we get up here and we have trauma stories. That story of the young lady really touched me because I grew up around all sisters. 2005, got out of college, graduated top of my class. I was this cocky guy. I go to a mortgage company and I see Ferrari, BMW, all this stuff. I was like, man, there's some money in this shit. What are these people doing? Go in the interview. They said 96% of the people that started in this business do not make it past the first 12 months. I was like, that ain't me. I'm a hustler. You're not going to beat me on anything, anywhere, any competition. I don't care what it is, I'm going to win. I have a winner's mentality. That's just how I was born. That's how I'm bred. Arguably, some of that is probably child trauma, but hey, it works in my favor. So, started in the mortgage company. I was cooking. My boss always jokes, you were the best, one of the best interviews I've ever had in my entire career. Guy I still talk to, he's one of my mentors. Came out first year, I think I made like 130, 140,000, and I was like, fucking rich, right? Because we're taught, especially in our community, that $100,000 to us is $1 million, and it's not. Let me tell you, especially if you go 1099, you owe the tax man, right? So I learned that the hard way, okay? First year cooking, second year cooking, third year, I'm like, it smells a little funny around here. Guess what year that was? 2008. What happened in 2008? The worst year of my fucking life, that's what happened, all right? You guys can laugh. Nah, I was traumatized, sitting there crying. Oh shit, I didn't cry, but you know, we're too tough for all that. I did cry. I cried when I got in the car. Went outside, started smoking a cigarette. I don't even smoke, I'm smoking a cigarette. Man, what am I doing with my life? So, 2 years, I got into music, okay? I worked with Akon, 50 Cent, all these guys that did arts and label promotion, traveled the country, worked for Ozone Magazine, this is 50, so I worked for 50 Cent, Akon, Pitbull, Jeezy, Gucci, all those guys that you love, and you hear, I know crazy stories, if you guys ever want to hear them, I can tell them to you. But I was in the music game for 2 years, full time. Like, that's what I did, that's what I did for a living. I know there's a lot of people that are probably like, man, I want to get into music, but guess what? It fucking sucks. Okay? There's not a lot of money in music. There's a lot of artists that put on this front that are not making money. I guarantee it. okay? The jewelry is fake, trust me. I know a lot of those guys made their money in the streets and then came up through music, but they made more money in the streets. That's the reality of the situation. So it got even worse after the crash. But if you're going to be a music artist, the best thing I can tell you is do it on your own, get your own distribution. You do not have to go through a record label, trust me. A lot of times there's no such thing as A&Rs anymore. So if you have a cousin that sings or raps, they're not putting him in the AR department anymore. It's just not happening. They want artists that are already built up, that have a YouTube presence, that everybody knows in the city. This pig, he's a very, local, music artist that has done very well for herself. Young Ray's a good friend of mine, or I think he changed his name. Ray Jr., right? Yeah. Ray's my man. We came up together. Young Shank, love the guy to death. Those are my guys. We came up together in the music game. I always show them love because I feel like if you're a Clevelander, you should show love for artists. So, enough about the music game. Came back into the mortgage business in 2011. Worked for about a year in underwriting. And I underwrite not just normal mortgages, but I underwrote modifications. Does anybody know what a modification is?
Yeah.
Why do you get a modification? To adjust the payment so you don't lose your house. So I used to read story after story after story about people that were going to lose their house. How do you think that made me feel? Humbling, helpless, anything that I could do to help these people, I did. But it was kind of my penance to the mortgage guys because, God only knows before 2008, I did a lot of crazy stuff. So, worked in underwriting, and then I went to work for a company called Nations Lending. Very reputable, multi-million-dollar company based out of actually Northeast Ohio. Bill and Jeremy, still good friends and mentors of mine. They've been on the Forbes list, worth $78 million, and these guys are all from Brook Park area. Worked for them for a couple of years, managed the team, got my feet wet. I remember going back when I first started being a loan officer, they said, okay, we got guys that are doing 3 or 4 deals a week, or 3 or 4 deals a month. And then Rick came here and did 5 or 6 deals that same week. Why isn't everybody like Rick? And I was like, because I'm a psychopath when it comes to competing. I'm built that way. I don't know, I'm fucked up, whatever. So I was cooking, I was like, this is great, blah, 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 God bless you. And then there was another shorter squeeze in about 2013. I was like, all right, I can't trust any more of these companies. I'm not making anybody else millions of dollars. I got to kind of step out and do my own thing. In the mortgage stage, you could do what's called franchising, which, I basically franchised a bunch of mortgage companies up until that time frame. And about 2019, I sat down with my mentor, David Nosey, who was actually a foreign immigrant. Crazy stories like Chernobyl happened when he was a kid, and they were, Jewish Ukrainians, and the Russians hated on him, and all kinds of crazy stuff. And he escaped out of it. I said, listen, I got to do something more than this. I did, at that point, I made $1 million as a loan officer, but that's not enough for me. I said, this is not enough. I'm sure Vivo can attest to this, and Jay and others that have moved on. I got to do something that for the rest, no matter what happens to me when I pass away, I want something that will permanently change this industry. This is the stuff that I'm thinking in my head. So, 2019, I started Equity Capital Mortgage Group. Our focus is women, minorities, investors, Gen Z, and millennials. Okay? We are very passionate about bridging the wealth gap. Okay? The wealth gap is solely created through real estate. Does everybody know that?
Yes.
Okay? Cousin Ray that's telling you don't take out a mortgage because they're going to do X, Y, and Z is full of shit. Stop listening to them. Listen to successful people that are actually scaled up and know what they're actually doing. Real estate is the way to do that. Again, 2019 started the company. Market shifted. I lost the young lady said about 250. I lost like 500,000-600,000 when the market squeezed and the mortgage rates changed. And I was like, okay, well, I got to do something a little different. Created Investor Source. Okay. Got some folks that actually come to Investor Source every first Thursday. It's specifically focusing on investors trying to invest in real estate. Went even further and said, okay, well, I got this knack. I want to get back into music. Music is what inspires me or whatever. So one of my good friends, Tone Harley, works at 1079, calls me and he's like, do you want to do a podcast? I said, yeah, absolutely. And then he was like, how about with Lazy Bone? I was like, yeah, I love Lazy Bone. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. So we do a remote. Originally it was a remote because he was out in LA at the time. And, you know, his story was just crazy. Like, I don't know if anybody knows the Bone story. These guys came out of the scrap, okay? East 99th area they call a wasteland for a reason, okay? Crazy stories. He's talking about, he used to go and buy quarter waters and sell them at a double profit, all that stuff, and he's like, it wasn't a big deal. I was like, bro, you were an entrepreneur your entire life. Fast forward, 70 million records sold, they've been around the globe, and they're trying to do kind of the same thing that I know. So I started talking to them about real estate and the benefits of real estate, because for those that don't know, entertainers pay a high tax premium. And that's how a lot of entertainers and sports players get in trouble, is because their income is tax. Now, I'm not saying you should be left. I'm not saying you should be right, but what you should do is make sure your politicians are getting your money's worth and not blowing that money and sending it overseas or whatever. And I'll leave that at that. But the biggest thing is people get in trouble, tax man comes after them, guess what happens? You know, they're $1 million, $2 million in the hole. Heard about Wesley Snipes, one of my heroes, Blade. $2 million, he owed the IRS and went to prison. If Blade would have came to me with that $30 million check and gave me a couple $1 million, I could have shown him how to get into multifamily to mitigate that tax liability. When you own real estate, you can write off interest, you can write off, well, you used to be able to write off the taxes, okay? When you own multifamily, you can write off depreciation. Depreciation is also used as income. So you can basically wash your entire income if you have a high depreciation expense on multifamily. I'm trying to throw too much at you guys right now. But we work with, again, NFL players, sports players, music artists, to help them mitigate that tax liability. So I think last time I was here, we actually talked about this. We started really getting probably heavily more involved with Bone. And fast forward, we are now under contract as a developer with the city of Cleveland for 200 parcels for a $500 million development project spearheaded by Mr. Crazy Bone. So there's really no limit. The only limit is in your mind, okay? Like, to Jay's point, like when I was on the streets, I was thinking about just the nickels and dimes, but now I'm thinking legacy, I'm thinking impact. I just left the which is why I was late, excuse my lateness. I just left a multi-family event where there's guys that have $1 billion worth of assets under their belt. I know how to create it so that if you find multi-family projects, I know how to raise capital. So if you guys know anybody selling buildings, I can help you do that. There's really no limit when it comes to it. The only limit is what's in your mind, okay? I'm gonna leave it at that. I expect everybody to come to our events as well. Investor Source, first Thursday of the month. And if you need a mortgage or anything like that, I'll let you boy. Hey, Dwayne.
We're going to bring Rick back up to the set for a quick Q&A. But then I have a special guest, right? So we were in Atlanta, and my homie, like we hosted an event down there, and I'm telling Debo who's on the same flight, and he's like, yo, like, you gotta meet Jessica. You don't know Jessica? I'm like, who the hell is Jessica? He's like, oh, you probably like the only one that don't know her then. Man, I go on Instagram. I'm like, bro, I don't know her. You're like, don't worry about it. I introduce y'all tonight at the event. Fast forward, she comes to the event, sets the room on fire, makes a dope connection. And ever since then, I've been tapped in. This young lady, how many people heard of 2 Chainz? Okay, cool. How many people know that 2 Chainz opened a restaurant in Atlanta? All right. How many people are aware that there's only one franchise of that restaurant? How many people know that Jessica is the only franchisee of that restaurant in Columbus, Ohio? Give a round of applause for Miss Jessica Kay.
journey that came up here, and I think back on like what my foundation and what my journey came from. I think back on this one particular story when I was 18 years old and I had a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old at that time. I was living on my own because my mom was one of the moms that if you turn 18, you gotta get out. I love my mom to death, but that's what happened. So I think back like, I had to take care of my kids. What was I gonna do? Now at that time I was in college. I just graduated from high school. I was in college and working 60 hours a week on top of that and trying to provide for these babies that I had. Okay? So the one thing that I had to focus on is something I had to sacrifice something. What was I going to give up? So I gave up education at that time. Okay? So I started working. I just work, and I almost sacrificed my kids' time with them as well. Because what could I do? 18 or 19, I had to work. It was to a point where I said, you know what? Something's got to change. I cannot continue to work all these hours, not be able to raise my kids the way I want to, making $7 and probably 25 cents an hour, because that was the minimum wage back then. I couldn't do it. Somebody showed me how to move forward. It was one person. I was working as a home care aide for a family, and she said, you know what, why don't you become an independent provider? Now this is back in 2007, y'all. Independent provider, what is that? That means you can work for yourself. You don't have to, you don't have to work for these agencies, you can work for yourself. So I said, okay. So I dug into it to figure out what it took, and at that time I probably made about $9 an hour, and when I became independent, I was making about $16 an hour, and I was, y'all, I thought I was golden at that time. Okay? So now I'm about 21 years old, and I'm thinking, you know what? As an agent, if I become an agency provider, I can make at least about $20-something an hour. I wasn't thinking about hiring somebody at that time. I didn't think about it. I just thought about the money of it. I could still work with my clients because that was a passion of mine. I could spend more time with my kids, and I would make a little bit more money. So I became an agency. So in 2008, I started my home care business during the finish, which I still have to this day. So I'm a 16-plus year agency owner and group home owner as well. That business, y'all, has literally paid for everything in my life. Literally everything. A lot of people start coming to me probably about 2012 to learn, hey, how did you start your business? And I had to show them because at that time when I started, nobody showed me. I literally couldn't call one person to show me how to run and operate this business. I didn't know anyone. Nobody looked like me. So when I'm going to provider meetings and things like that, a 21-year-old going up against these bigger agencies to try to get clients, I almost felt defeated. But I knew me. I knew what was going to happen. So I kept going. So here I am, 39, y'all. Kids are grown now. And that business has allowed me to give back. I put everything into mentoring, coaching, consulting. I even got one of my clients here today. She moved from New York, y'all, to come to Ohio to start her business. Okay? So I consult, I coach, I help people start, operate their businesses. That business has led to, me building $1 million plus real estate investment company. So not only do I have clients, my clients live in my properties. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then from there, I was able to, I'm like, what else do I want to do? Open up a restaurant, and that's what I did. I was able to partner with 2 chains and open up their first franchise in Columbus, Ohio. But I said all to say, I can say everything that I've done or did and currently doing, but it really took the power of manifesting, and I really believe in that. Because even back then, I had to breathe life into myself because there wasn't a lot of people to do that for me. It wasn't anybody. So I'm going to breathe that same life into y'all to keep going with your businesses because you can make it. You're talking about an 18-year-old to a 17-year-old with 2 kids. I did finish my education because I did go back to school just because I wanted to, get it off my bucket list. So I did get my master's. But I appreciate them calling me and calling last minute. I'm like, okay, who am I going to talk to? But any chance I get to share, my story and share who I am, I'm here. You can connect with me on Instagram at @TheJessicaK. That's THEE Jessica JESSICAKAY. If anybody has any questions or want to disconnect, let me know. Thank you.
Can we say better on ourselves? Man. All right, so we're going to bring everyone back up, but before we do, I've got a couple questions, right? How many people have some dope takeaways from hearing the speaker? Who want to share? Who want to share? What's one of your takeaways?
What was it? Your own limitations are in your mind. Like that roll up. So.
I like that. Okay.
What else?
Okay, one of the takeaways is, and this is the actual coincidental part, guys, I was actually thinking about real estate because I just recently realized I just can't work a 9 to 5, and just being here today, I didn't even realize I would be here to connect with so many people. And no, I didn't even know there would be real estate people here, so it just makes me feel more like I can do it. I feel more motivated and inspired. And I don't want to connect with all of you guys now. Like, whoever is in real estate, please, I'll give out my number for free. But it's been really great. It was really great, and I really appreciate that.
Hey, because after this event is so costly, though. After this event is so costly. Might cost you a little, might cost you a lot. But it's so costly. All right. One more person.
I would say that overall, the sky is the limit. Your only barrier is yourself. You have to get out of your own head, manifest in yourself, believe in yourself, because sometimes even the people you think that believe in you may not truly believe. But if you have it within yourself, you can do it. So, yeah.
Thank you. And listen, man, like, once again, everybody has a story, right? We come in not knowing what happened before us. We catch little glimpses that people show us on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever we make up in our own mind. But that's all we know. Perception is reality to people that don't know. Y'all can go ahead, y'all can use that to give you credit when y'all do. All right, so real quick, can I get everyone back up? Mr. Bruce Holmes, Miss Charkia, just boss, Jessica Kay, Rick Rucker. So, I apologize for not bringing enough mics, but we're going to figure it out. There we go.
Your protection and foundation, we're at the point and mix it out.
Got your back.
All right, so this is a dope opportunity. If you have questions, this is a dope Q&A for you guys to get those questions out.
Can I say something I forgot to say? Okay.
Go right ahead.
You guys, I apologize. Not only do I have a boutique that I have built, but my little boutique is not He Love Curves. I have changed it to Vendetta's Box because I house 12 other businesses inside of my store. I believe in making bosses.
Now listen, hold on, because don't gloss over that. What she's saying is, because I actually have been there, so what she's saying is, she thought outside the box, right? She said, yo, like, I could have this whole space for myself, or I could figure out a dope way to help you with your business, you with your business, you with your business, and myself. How many people think that's one of the smartest things you can ever do? Come on, man. Listen. Way to think outside the box, way to provide for other people. And I just want to say thank you for everything you've done within the community. Because every fashion show you've done, every small other little thing that you have done, you have inspired people that you do not even realize that you've inspired. So I just want to tell you that in front of all of these people, the city is watching, and you're doing an amazing job. Salute to you.
Thank you so much. No, I really receive that. Because I do stay behind doors for the most part with everything I do. So if y'all look on my page, a lot of stuff that I said I do, all y'all see is dresses like she's just a boutique owner. And I'm going to give this flowers to you definitely because of I've watched you post so many different seminars and stages and people speaking. And I was like, I have to figure out, like, how do I get on this stage? Like, how do I speak? But I never got a chance to reach out to him. And that's what it's called, God timing. I didn't have to reach out. I didn't have to say nothing. I had to be patient, and God sent him to me right on time. So thank you for the opportunity. I have manifest this. I'm strong enough. Listen, chase the universe, not the bag. You will go broke chasing the bag. I chase the universe. When you manifest, it is the truth that is strong. If you can see it, you can touch it, you can have it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay.
So we can open this up. Who has a question? Any questions in the room? Don't make me ask all my questions because I got tons of questions.
Don't be shy.
Okay, so this one.
There we go.
There we go. There we go. I appreciate it. I'm coming over there. I'm coming over there. And then we're going to play a game because I got my tech people in the building.
I do have a little bit of an idea. Do you have a separate Instagram for the second store?
No, actually it's the same page. You'll be transferred over.
Okay.
You never leave great followers to start new.
Period. Okay.
All right, cool.
What is the biggest mistake you guys ever have learned from, or what is the biggest piece of advice you would give to someone starting out in business?
That's hot.
Is that for all of us, or you want
One of the biggest things that when I started really making some pretty good money is instead of taking in all of the income, I should have hired for more positions to be able to scale up faster. Sometimes we see that million in the bank, like Rick was saying, and we get excited, but it doesn't allow you to grow anymore because you're wearing so many hats. So if I had to give you advice, hire for what you need help with, and you'll scale up much faster than that. Taking in all the money is not going to allow you to, walk around the streets and say I'm a boss, I'm a $1 million earner. Take in that $750 to $800, and then give it back out in salary, and you'll be able to scale up to a multiple seven-figure earner faster than you would being $1 million owner and scrambling your business. I like business to be passive. I like to be on vacation while I'm making money, so that's the way I've done it from the beginning, where I struggled with that, and now I hire for everything that I need.
I think one of the biggest advice I would give is understand that you should be an employee for your business. You should be your first employee. You should not be going into your business thinking everybody should be doing the business and you're not doing anything and you don't even know how your business is even operating. So making sure that you know that you are your first employee and paying yourself as an employee as well. The second part to that, second to what Ms. Ruppholm just said as far as hiring people. So no, in your business, you are going to need an accountant. You're going to need a tax person. You're going to need a business attorney. You're going to need business insurance. These are things that are essential to make sure that your business grows, okay? It may be smaller now, but if you are trying to scale and go to the next level, those are the professionals, experts that you're going to need to make sure that your business goes. Are there any tax people in here, accountants, anybody like that? Okay, well, definitely reach out and find somebody to add to your team.
And that is good that I was going to bring that the biggest mistake I made was not researching. Listen to me. Vendor license, when you file that vendor license, you automatically owe money. Where you're going to have to start paying money. Sales taxes. How many people got vendor license? Anybody got vendor license? Y'all know what Ohio Gateway is? You know how many people don't have a clue what that is? They don't tell you that's your sales tax. And because I didn't research that, I didn't know that. And because it took me so long to get somebody to help me, the first yes I got was a bad fraud accountant. I had no clue. And he put me on paying him every month. I'm not thinking about looking over nothing. I just know I didn't know that part. I'm just rolling and rolling. I got to a competition, came in first place 3 times of 100 grand, and got to the table. My paperwork was not correct. I could not take the win. So what that did for me was pay attention to my paperwork and do my own research. So I would definitely say research, you guys. We do not read. We just listen to people.
My biggest piece of advice is, how many times do you guys think we failed to get to this point? Millions, right? Well, maybe not millions, but still, it's a large number. You're going to fuck up, okay? It's inevitable. You're going to mess up, and you're going to keep messing up, but when you take those losses and you never do it again, or you learn from them, then you won, right? Does that make sense to everybody? I've lost so many times over and over and over and over and over again. And to Debo, so I can't even call him Dwayne. I gotta call him Debo because we're from the crib. But you just gotta learn how to it's almost like money is nothing. And I know that's crazy to say, crazy. But when you talk to a kid that came out of a single parent household, came from poverty, was on Section 8, very humbling background, money means nothing to me. It's just, every day I'm at the table and I'm not in prison or I haven't been shot, you know what I'm saying? I'm here, I'm happy to be alive. So, the money that you have, a lot of people are $1 million, man. You guys made $1 million if you go through one of the worst. This what just happened in 2022 to now is worse than 2008. Does everybody know that? In real estate, it is the worst. You know why? Because in 2 months they try to fix 12 years of bad decisions. Okay? And that's on both sides. Again, I stay in the middle. I'm libertarian. I'm right in the middle. There was a ton of mistakes made, and they tried to fix it overnight. We saw interest rates go up 775 basis points. I had people that went from 3% to 7.5%, okay? You imagine those people that were in the multifamily space that, hedged their numbers for a 5% interest rate, and all of a sudden they went up to almost 8%. This was one of the worst markets that I've ever made it through, but you know what? I don't have a scarcity mindset. I have an abundance mindset. All the bullshit excuses I could have made for myself, 60% of my competition was gone in 2022, right? Another 25% disappeared in 2023. And you know why I'm saying here? It's because we, all of us, come from the scrap, okay? I'm not afraid to go back to eating government cheese sandwiches and all these, because I'm just happy to be here. And if I looked at that $1 million I'm a millionaire, you know what I'm saying? Instead of spending it back into my money to keep the doors open, guess what would happen? I would right back to ground zero. Yeah, so I'm fucking in the back, right? So I spent that $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, which again, you're talking about a kid that came from nothing, zero. I blew that money to keep the doors open, keep people fed, and make sure that I didn't change anybody's complaint on my own officers. I didn't complain about it. I mean, my sister hears a lot about it. But you guys got to think, again, everything in your head is made up. Anything that you can tell yourself is a bullshit-ass story, okay, on why you can't make it. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. There is nothing different. You've heard our stories. There's nothing different between us four and you, other than action, right? We took action. We didn't know what we were doing. We fell forward, and we made it. So that's my best piece of advice is you're going to make a lot of mistakes. Fall upward, as they say. And, don't beat yourself up and find a mentor. Everybody here coaches. I don't really coach personally, but I have a very short attention span. I'm all over the place. I was sitting at this 8-hour event. I was like, I'm losing my mind. So, but come to different events, especially like these, and again, bring your people up with you, right? I could have sat on $1 million, or I could have hired in my sister, and she's got one of the most successful real estate events in the state, women who invest in real estate. Okay, I could have sat her on the sidelines, but instead I wanted people along the way, my man Dwayne and others, to come along with me with the ride. So don't be selfish. Don't have a scarcity mindset. Don't feel like you got to hold information in because you're like, I hit a lick because I took. No, bring your people with you, right? Bring your people with you.
That's the bar. Who came here tonight with somebody? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, clap it up. Clap it up. All right, cool.
Yeah, guys, get a mentor. That's what I came. I came from New York all the way here. Thanks for having this
Let's go.
session here. But I advise everybody, get a mentor so you don't have to make all these rough mistakes.
I want to speak towards that real quick. Can you guys speak towards the reason why people get mentors? Because in our community, we hear it a lot, right? Yeah, I'm this, I'm that. But people don't really understand the reason why it's important to get a mentor, and even if you might have to pay that mentor. Can you touch on that real quick?
One, it costs to be in business. 2, you cannot sell your dream to someone who does not see it. You cannot sell your dream or get advice from someone that's on the same level or under you. It's no offense, it's real. If I have $1 million problem, I cannot ask my friend who's never made two figures. It's no offense. But she don't have the answers. So you have to go to people that's smarter than you. You have to have people that's around you smarter than you. And you have to have people that knows the question that answers, will have the answers to the questions that you really need where you're at in life. And it's not the people that you have that is your closest people in your circle around you. I hope that
I started coaching and consulting and just and being a mentor because when I started, I didn't have anybody to show me and teach me. So a lot of mistakes that I made, like I always think like God put me through this so that I can give back to the next person. So yeah, definitely have a mentor in place because you are going to have those questions, those business questions, or advice that you need and guidance, and you're going to need someone who's either been there, who's been there, and who's been in the steps or the footprints that you're trying to walk in yourself. So definitely invest in someone that can help you with that, help guide you through your business. You're going to win easier. You're going to win easier if you have somebody in your corner. I call all my, people that I coach, they're my business besties. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the person they're going to call when shit is going bad, and I'm the person they're going to call when everything is going amazing. Okay? And I'm going to give my unfiltered opinion. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep it real because I've been there, I've done it, and I've seen it. So, yeah.
All right. Who would go to a doctor, right? Who would go to a doctor and get operated on that learned at YouTube University? Who would? Right? You wouldn't go to a doctor. You wouldn't go to a general practitioner. You wouldn't go say, hey, I need ankle surgery to a guy that said, I learned on YouTube. Right? YouTube would be good if you want to learn basics, but there's so many scams out there. How would you go on YouTube when you have people like these folks in front of you that have been there that have failed out? So there's one rule of thumb that I have, and I just dropped $20,000 to learn about this multi-family thing. There's one rule that I have is I would rather have somebody's 5 years of mistakes and execute in 6 months because of learning from those five years mistakes, than say, oh, I'm not paying for nothing. I don't feel like, why would I do it? Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of scams out there. There are a lot of scammers. There are a lot of people that are life coaches that have not been successful in their own lives. Which you gotta do some research. You gotta vet people. But I mean, why would you not do it? Is my question. It's the honest to God truth. So.
Just to top everything off with what everybody else is saying, I know, for example, I was in the sober space, so I started my home and I didn't know exactly who I needed to be calling and exactly how to fill up my home, so it sat for a couple months and it cost me nearly $10,000. But now, some of my mentees that come underneath me, I know how to say, hey, once we get your property and acknowledge that this is going to be your property, we're going to stage the bedroom. Very first thing, we're going to stage the bedroom, get the professional photographer to come through, take the pictures and start advertising the home before it's even started, because we want to fill up that home right away. So my mistake that pretty much cost me about $10,000, it's not going to be your mistake. So you can either pay $10,000 and make mistakes or more, or you can just get the mentorship. And like Rick said, just vet the people. Mentorships, it tells you exactly what verbiage to use when you're looking for it. Some people may say group homes, some people may say home care, some people may say independent living. You have to understand the verbiage that some of these websites want to use and stuff. When you're calling to get your home inspected and all the above, what language to use to these home inspectors and zoning people, it's different stuff for different cities and so on and so forth. What websites to go to get your certification and applications and all that. We curved all that, and now I'm sitting right in front of you for a simple price, a small investment. Rick just said he invested $20,000. I just invested $30,000 for a book. It's just you just have to
sideways. It happened in real time.
I just about that life, man, and what I'm saying. And once you figure out, and understand that, I grew up around athletes and hustlers, so I knew I needed to get around people that had the information that I was yearning to get, so I knew I had to pay to cross the bridge. I ain't for all this shucking and jiving. I want to keep you with this money right now. I don't want to be 60 plus 70 enjoying some money. I want to enjoy it right now. So I have to pay to cross the bridge, and I want to do that. So it's programs out there. Never make money be an issue why you can't get started with something. It's partnerships. It's business funding. That business funding stuff is real, y'all. And just to have a personal credit profile or something like that, partnerships, say, hey, let's lock in for 6 months and, I'll swing that back to you. I didn't get started with a lot of money, like some tax money, like $6,000 or something like that, y'all. Y'all have to figure it out. What is non-negotiable is walking away from your dream and going back to your job, because they pay you enough to forget about your dreams. All right? Let's get it.
I think we got time for one more question. One more question out there. We got one. There we go. You've been quiet the whole time. We don't need to get up. We was networking. So this
So my question is how do you defeat self-doubt or imposter syndrome?
how do you defeat imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome.
Somebody explain it to me.
Elaborate your position on that.
It's like when you have really bad feelings, but you feel like you can't do it, or anxiety in a way, things like that.
Feeling qualified.
Self-doubt.
So it's like feeling qualified to be in a room, to be in a position.
All right.
I'll start right here. I'm going to tell you this. Before I even, got to the 7-figure mark, I was working at airports, all the above, but I always kept some personal development in me. On the airplane, I got affirmations speaking to me while I'm sleeping on the plane. It's constant personal development that allowed me to prep for the opportunity once it came I was ready for it already. It's just like, let's just say that I'm a former football player. I got ready for camp before it even came. So your preparation for that opportunity or that moment will allow you to stand up a lot more stronger than it would when you just pop it up and you're not ready for that opportunity or that moment. So that's my advice to you. Personal development, audio books. I read a lot of books. I listen to a lot of books. I ride and listen to a lot of people. Just constant development of the brain. Garbage in and garbage out. All right?
Look, you gotta have confidence. You gotta trust who you are. Listen, you have to believe in you. I tell anybody any day, I know who I am. I'm great. I walk into a room, he can be worth $1 billion. I can have negative account. I'm walking there, I got billions. Do you understand that? You have to control yourself and believe the process. If you stay small-minded, you're going to stay right where you are. Believe, count numbers. Every day going to my boutique. And they used to call it a little boutique. I said, okay, they're going to be $1,000 a day. I know, of course, I'm probably make $200 a day. But every day I said that going to the store. And guess what? I made that $1,000 fall. Then I upped my number. I said, then I'm going to make $5,000. I'm not telling you that this happened overnight. It took a process. I eventually made $5,000. 8 years later, I made a $10,000 day. But I spoke it every day. I got dressed as if I was already made of money. I was already made of the universe. You have to believe that with nothing. And if you don't, then you're not going to get there. Whatever you speak around you, stays around you. So that's why I say, be careful what you say out your mouth. Because it is true. So I walk around, I say anything I want. Got this car, that. I love this, can't wait to get that house. I'm picturing houses and cars I don't even have the credit for. So now, I got platinum credit cards, like he said. I went from bad credit, not known credit, never grew up with credit, so I had to do something different. I broke every family tie that I was supposed to be accustomed to. Okay? Don't allow how big or how smart you are now to tell you where you're going to be at when you're supposed to be at. So you walk in every room up with your head high. Whether you got it or not, you got it because you walked in it.
So, like I said, the power of manifesting, literally talking, just how you're doubting yourself, change those words into positive things. So, I can do this. And I'm literally, you could look yourself in the mirror and look and say, I can do this. And you do that every single day because you're training your mind. Because just how your mind got trained to self-doubt you can rewire it, in a manifestation way. So you have to speak life into yourself. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Don't try to compare yourself to anybody. Don't look on social media and the internet and say I don't know how old you are, but don't compare yourself like, oh, I'm 20, whatever, and I should be this. No, because your journey is going to be your journey, and that's it. Speak life into yourself every single day.
Oh, great. Oh, man. How do I follow that? I don't know. I think one of the things that I often go to, and I full disclosure, like you probably think all of us were big bad. We all have anxiety issues out the wazoo. There are times where we're like, shit, how am I going to make it? Well, maybe not payroll, but how am I going to keep my doors open like I did? Like, what am I going to do? So we all have our own anxieties, sweetheart. Like, do not let anybody fool you. Every entrepreneur level of anxiety is through the roof. But what we try to do is surround ourselves with not only like-minded people, but people that look like us, right? Because when I was going through some of the problems that I was, and I felt like the world turned on me, and I got on a podcast with Lazy Bone, he didn't even realize he impacted my life. You know what I'm saying? And all he did was tell the story. I said, man, I can't believe you made it out of that. I cannot believe you made it out of that. Right? My great-grandparents inherited land that their slave owners had in Kentucky. I've walked the land, right? You know how humbling that is? I mean, I was in tears. You know what I'm saying? To think like, man, I own a mortgage company. I own the first black-owned mortgage company in the state of Ohio. right? I do millions of dollars. Like, I'm walking this land that my family inherited from their slave owners. We come from greatness, right? We all do. You got to think that every day in your mind, and I can only imagine what they went through, right? My great aunt Lois, who's 96 years old, came to Cleveland, Ohio. She went back down to West Virginia, and guess what happened where she grew up when she would try to go into a regular gas station, right? You come from that. Everybody in this room comes from that. And on the other side, my grandparents came from Ireland, could barely speak English. They hated the Irish. Don't let it fool you. They hated the Irish. Hated the Irish. My uncle, no, Uncle Leo used to tell me people would spit on them. Right? That's what I come from. So anytime I'm up in my own feelings or I'm like, I'm scared or this or that, all I do is go back to, what did they do? Right? What did your great-grandparents do when they came out of slavery? What did they do? You know what I'm saying? And then I go back to my team, a lot of my team meetings, I go back and I actually go and I say, did you know that there was a black-owned bank in the 1800s? Did you know that? Did y'all know that? 1870s? Right? But they told us this bullshit-ass story the last X amount of years that we don't come from greatness, and we do. We all do, right? You got it in you. You just got to manifest it and realize it. But I tell Madam C.J. Walker hangs on my wall proudly, right? 3,000 square foot office. I'm all about the culture. As soon as you walk in, you see Tupac, right? There's a Tupac picture right when you walk in. I don't hide where I'm from, right? I don't hide where I'm from. I don't hide from the scrap that I came from. I don't hide from my story. I never lie about it. The first time Jay came to one of my sister's events, I told about how I used to roam in gangs and how I used to sell drugs and I used to do all this crazy stuff when I was a kid. And my P.O. still looking for me. I had 8 pending court cases my senior year, and I said, this isn't the life that I want, right? Today is the day you walk out of here and you make a change to your life and you're get confident in your own self because you come from greatness, young lady and young man, and everybody else in here. It's all in your head. There's nothing any different from us up here other than action. What are you going to do to get to the next steps today? Not tomorrow, today. What book are you going to read to make yourself better today? Right? Go back to your ancestors, pay homage to them, know where they came from, but we all come from greatness. We're all kings and queens, right? They try to hide that in the history books. They don't talk about all the successful businesses we had at the turn of the century. First self-made female in this country was African American. Did you know that? First female that's self-made in the country of the United States was African American. Did you know that? Self-made millionaire. I feel like everybody could fill in those blanks, right? I wasn't speaking for him. Everybody knows they're self-made. Right? Taking up our emotional moment here, right? I gotta go.
Yo, finishing up, I just want to let you know, I knew JR was about to announce it, and my heart started beating a little different. What the hell is wrong with you, man? I had to have a conversation with you. Baby girl, you didn't even know I was starting to get a little nervous over there. And I don't know why, I just came off a 5-city tour doing conferences for 2 years straight. But it's something about when your numbers called that it gets you going. So even the best, like he just said, even the best, man, my heart started beating a little different. I'm like, man, what's wrong with you, man? Man, this is cool. You cool? You straight? But I had a conversation with myself even walking up to this point. So I just wanted to be vulnerable. You got to be vulnerable enough to let that out of you to say that, yo, this is something I'm struggling with and need it head on. If you're not able to like confront it, then it's gonna be tough for you to let it go. So confront whatever you got that give you that anxiety, and then attack that anxiety. You're gonna be straight.
And find an outlet, like a workout, something like that. Work out every day.
Praise God. I'm gonna leave it to, I call it my race. Everybody has a race. In my race, I stop, I tie my shoes, I drink water, I may check my email, I may take a break, because I'm not going against nobody else. The finish line is yours regardless. You just have to stay consistent and stay focused. So be okay. Don't follow what the next one doing, as she said. Be okay with your race. Can't nobody outbeat you. It's yours.
God bless you.
Man, that was amazing. That was amazing. Listen, man, like, I think we good, guys.
One more question.
We got.
I know this gentleman in a purple shirt, like he had a question. You haven't raised your hand.
Front Street.
My bad.
I guess if I would make a question, I guess, what are, like, when you're going through your, like, journey for success, what are some places where you go to or kind of find out where the people that you speak with is like, okay, this is someone who's in my corner versus this is like, kind of when we were referring to, like, personal development, some of the scams, what are some of, like, the pitfalls or in your experiences, some of the things that, like, okay, this person knows what they're about versus, like, okay, this person, I don't know if they're really in my corner or they may not even know what they're talking about.
You mean like, is that like support? How do you know somebody really support you?
Like, in terms of, I guess it was like a two-part question. So part of it is support, but the other part is when you're talking about personal development and investing in yourself of, like, because, you know, especially now on social media, it's very easy to say, like, okay, this person seems like have you do background checks or something like that, and then you find out it's like they're not who they really present themselves to be. So I figured you guys have a lot more experience than most. What are some of, like, the telltale signs you get come across where it's like
So one thing that you want to take time to do is build rapport, man. And if a person can't tell me about their kids and you know what drives them, what's their why, you know, get a little bit. And I'm an interpersonal guy, so if you can't leave a little emotion within this conversation, then you know, I understand that we may not be for each other because I want my emotions on my sleeve. So I want you to be vulnerable. Tell me something that what hinders you, what hurts you. But rapport is important, man. You know, so don't try to move too fast when you're trying to get this information and stuff like that, man. Just build rapport, man. You know, from simple stuff like speaking and meeting out and, you know, hey, Dwayne, can I meet you at one of your houses? That would cost you no money to do that. You just vibe out with somebody. But, you know, everybody is kind of in business right now, but forget to build rapport. And I think rapport is very important, man. Don't come talk to me if you ain't trying to build with me first, man, for real. So that's my advice. It's not the best advice, but that's how I get down because I'm in these big cities, man. I'm in Atlanta, Dallas, Phoenix, and it moves fast, man. If you can't be able to spot a jug, get that car ran real fast, man. But I guess I could, you know, thank my street essence as well from that part. But you know, be able to build rapport with somebody and connect with them on the spiritual side. Read that energy, man. It'll tell you exactly what you need to see, and don't ignore it. That's your instincts, and God telling you to run.
I would also say community. I would have no community in there. Because once you're in a community with people, just like rooms like this, right, where you're around like-minded people, people who are a little bit different than you, come from different backgrounds, things like that, you don't know who knows who. That's why we did the speed networking. It's important to see who knows who. I know Dwayne does group homes, so if I meet one of you guys who are interested in real estate, like the couple that left, yo, as soon as he gets here, let me plug those two, right? Now, we're in community. They're going to look out for you. They know whatever your interest is, so when Charkia comes in the room, yo, you should talk to him. Just like we did with the delivery guy, right? You guys saw it in real time. But we're in a controlled environment of people who look like us, we're trusting. So it's like, yo, like we're all looking for the same thing. There's a reason why we're all here. Because we're looking for a piece of information or a connection that's going to help take us to that next level. We're not here to piggyback. We ain't here to waste nobody's time. Everybody here does something different. All y'all do something different. But guess what? We can all leverage each other as we build. So that's my 2 cents. Sorry.
Support? I was still trying to process the question. I answered it right. Because I was still just trying to support around, like, how do you know, like, your size for you?
Yeah, and I guess the reason why I asked that, because it's kind of a thing I've noticed with, we speak with a lot of entrepreneurs, it's a lot of times in their business, they'll be like, it's kind of a mistake process, but they'll be with somebody that thought was like, okay, it's my corner, or even this is a mentor as I work with, but then something happened, or they said, okay, they weren't who they said they were, and I figured that's happened to the group at one point or another, and one of the telltale signs that you said, learning from some mistakes of like, be on the lookout for stuff like this, or in my personal experience, this happened to me, and this is how I look out for those things going forward. As I said earlier, you're going to make mistakes.
You're going to make mistakes. It's correct. Like for me picking the wrong person as an accountant, he was fraud and I didn't know. That's that I didn't do my research. I was just so excited I jumped off and did it. And getting so many notes, nobody want to help you. Oh, I don't remember that, or I ain't got, that's why I'm big on working together, because it's so bad for us. We do not like to help each other. We do not. And that was the issue. Everybody was telling me no. So the first yes I got, and I just went, okay, get an accountant. He says he's an accountant. I didn't got to research. But now, I research, and now I'm going to make sure whatever this person tells me, let me back up and do my homework. As far as being your corner and support, because you will lose. Well, you don't lose, but they lose you. Okay, guys? So your close people that you feel your close people will not be able to support you. That is not the people that you're looking for your business. For me, which I had two right amazing hands. One, and I won't say her real name on here because she don't like that. But just to help pick out important things. Her name is Pumpkin, and it was a point in my life with the boutique as going through everything COVID. I went through a bad thing with my son, a bad car crash, almost lost his life. And at the time, guess what? I'm fighting for him, and my boutique game went. Now all the hard work I put in is going at its highest, to where I'm trying to save both of them. The average person would have been like, that's your child. Let that go. Well, I'm not average. My child also sacrificed time for me to get where I'm at and my husband, so I got to keep going through both. Make a long story short, she came to me, she said, what you need, what you want, ain't nothing else to say, what I need to do. And I'm not talking about just as far as help. From inventory, anything that I needed, she said, here you go. People like that who support you for free and don't ask to borrow $10 and when you going to give it back to me, that's who you know in your corner. My second hand will be evident. It's not, they don't ask for paychecks up front. It gets to the point where I just got to send them money because it ain't a paycheck for them. People who give you their time to work for you for free is your foundation. Because we work for free a whole lot. If you do anything and you're just looking to get paid and you want to do it for free, you are in the wrong field. So I hope that answered a little bit of community support.
Good.
I hope.
All right, guys, so we're going to wrap it up. My bad. Rick, you go close it out.
No, talk.
They're going to be here, guys. They're going to be here to answer whatever questions that you have. But we want to make sure that we kind of just open up the room and give you guys a chance to get back to the food and all that stuff. So, Rick, 3 minutes, Rick.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
3 minutes, Rick.
I feel like this is a TED Talk. I feel very comfortable up here with my team. I love it. So I'm outside tonight. I'm outside. I'm with Depot. We back in the streets.
99 all over here.
Yeah, we not in the streets. But I go off my gut. Like they were saying, like my gut instinct. And I analyze everything that everybody does. Like in any type of setting, I analyze everything that they're doing, everything that they say. And it's not like, I'm not like for or against them. I just analyze what they're saying. Like, their mannerisms, like, are they talking in a certain way that sounds a little funny? Like, not, are they sitting in a certain type of way? But, like, I analyze everything that anybody does in a business setting. Honestly, that's the honest to God truth. Like, A, B, what did Jay say? I'll be on the corner like the hustlers be? Like, you know, I used to be down off East 55th, picking up half pounds of weed, all kind of crazy stuff when I was in high school. So, when you come out of that setting, like, yeah, I was picking up half pounds a week ago. But, yeah, grace period. Certain cities won't allow you to have it, but the city next to them will. Yeah, I don't either. That's crazy. I used to sell it, but I never smoked. Supposedly. Yeah, don't take any hair follicles. But I have that knack like Debo has because we come from that environment, that hustler mentality where everybody's trying to scam you. But I would say the best thing that you could do, and you invested in yourself last week in our mastermind. The first thing that is a red flag to me is if I go to something like that, is if they can't answer real-time questions, they're probably full of shit. Because that means that they're probably not doing what they're saying they're doing. There's a guy I flew out to Jamaica, and they paid him like $15,000. And he's sitting there, I do mortgages, I'm in real estate, blah, blah, blah. I looked up his numbers, and he did 2 loans in 14 months. So, like, most of the people that are moving aren't talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people that are boasting, I do this, I do that, put on Instagram, and they're Instagram famous, like, you know, they're just paying for followers. They're not actually doing. We're in a scrap every day. You know what I'm saying? So I would just pay attention to everything anybody's saying, and if they can't answer questions in that type of setting like we did at our investor source, they're probably full of shit. They're probably lying.
Check the receipts.
Check the receipts.
All right, guys. So, give them a round of applause. Y'all enjoy